Here's the solution to the border crisis, and it's not that complicated. The United States Constitution explicitly gives Congress control over immigration and naturalization policy. There is no constitutional right that illegal immigrants to the United States have, except that it's given to them by Congress in a statute. And what one statute gives, another statute can take away. So right now, under the law that Bush signed as he was leaving office in 2008, a law mainly designed to deal with human trafficking, those who are accused of being here illegally, who are unaccompanied minors, have the right to counsel, the right to a hearing, all kinds of rights. But those rights are simply granted by statute. A statute could be passed eliminating them. And I believe that the key question here is not to speed up the deportation proceedings, not to have more immigration judges and a truncated process. I believe in avoiding them entirely. Don't ingest the illegal immigrants. Don't take them into our body as a country. Keep them at the border, put them right on a plane, and send them back out. There is no reason on earth why we don't change the law so that we can permit the Border Patrol to round these kids up. They're surrendering anyway to them. But instead of putting them into the system, putting them in dormitories until an immigration judge can do a cursory review of the cases, or perhaps even none at all, and just put them on an airplane and send them back to where they came from. It's very simple. Once you bring them into the United States and you take jurisdiction, then it's very hard to get rid of them, because they each have due process rights, they'll each have counsel, and they'll be all over the United States, embedded in communities throughout the country. But at the border, it's relatively simple to do that. Now, would this take new legislation? Well, to be safe, it would. But if Obama wanted to, which I assume he wouldn't, he could simply do this, Feinstein says, based on waivers in the legislation in 2008 that she herself wrote. But you have to assume that Obama is not going to be willing to do that, because the goal of the Democrats is to keep the children here and assimilate them into the United States and get them voting Democratic, and in the process encourage millions others to come and follow the same process. But we can stop that process simply by changing the 2008 statute. Now, will the Democrats support such a change in the statute? I think a lot of them would have no choice but to do that, because the demand for immediate deportation coast to coast in this country is enormous. And if they are not going to grant that, then I think they'd have a really tough time in their home states, particularly some of those facing marginal re-election issues in the 2014 election. I think also that if we are able to, that Obama wants $3.7 billion for warehousing these kids, for border enforcement, and for immigration courts, the Republicans shouldn't give him a penny without a repeal of that 2008 statute, and substituting for it a statute that explicitly says these kids do not have a right to a lawyer, do not have the right to a hearing, and ought to be rounded up by the Border Patrol and immediately deported back to their native countries. That's the solution to the problem. Thanks very much for watching.